Now is the time to take risk. As you get older, your obligations increase.
One of the greatest pieces of advice you can ever receive is by don't give up after you fail. You see, so many people are going to want to give up after they fail because failure sucks. Failure is incredibly hard to deal with and it's tough. It's probably one of the worst feelings in the entire world because it's you trying to achieve your goals and not reaching them. And things going wrong and you becoming unmotivated because you hate that feeling of failure. But you need to know that failing is okay. In fact, it's encouraged. Just make sure that when you fail, you don't have that mindset of you have to give up. Because the moment you give up is the moment that you lose all progress towards your dreams. You don't gain anything from it. But when you fail, you still have a chance to get back up and learn something from that experience and keep pushing forward and discover what it is that you messed up on and how to fix it and grow and learn and mature in yourself and whatever it is that you're striving to do.
If someone was really the person that solved it, they'll be able to answer multiple levels.
All that is possible with failures. Yet if you decide to give up, you won't have any of that. You'll just have a bunch of wasted time going to something you loved, and now you don't do it anymore because you failed and you gave up. It's okay to fail. So many people have claimed failing is the greatest thing to happen to them because they learned so much. But when you quit or when you give up, that's when it's game over, and you should not try to become successful if you have that mentality of giving up and wanting to quit.
Before you have those obligations. So I would encourage you to take risks now, do something bold.
I mean, I should say, like, when we started SpaceX and Tesla, I really thought the probability of success was very low. I mean, it wasn't like I think, oh, we'll definitely be successful. I thought, and we came very close to both companies not succeeding in 2008. We'd had 3 failures of the SpaceX rocket, so we were 0 for 3. We had the crazy financial recession, like the Great Recession. Tesla financing round had fallen apart because like pretty hard to raise money for a startup car company if GM and Chrysler are going bankrupt. And unfortunately, at the end of 2008, the 4th launch, that was the last launch we had money for, worked for SpaceX, and then we closed the Tesla financing round, as you know, Christmas Eve 2008, the hour of the last day that it was possible.
First of all, I really need to give some thought to like how can I provide advice that would be most helpful, and I'm not sure I've given enough thought to that to give you the best possible answer. But I think certainly being focused on something that you're confident will have high value to someone else.
As Jonah was alluding to, there are a lot of negative things in the world. There's a lot of terrible things that are happening all over the world, all the time. There are lots of problems that need to get solved. There's lots of things that are miserable and kind of get you down. Life cannot just be about solving one miserable problem after another. That can't be the only thing. There need to be things that inspire you, that make you glad to wake up in the morning and be part of humanity. That's why we did this. This guy called Tsiolkovsky, one of the early Russian rocket scientists, the great saying, Earth is the cradle of humanity, but you cannot stay in the cradle forever. It is time to go forth, become a star-faring civilization, out there among the stars, expand the scope and scale of human consciousness. I find that incredibly exciting. That makes me glad to be alive. I hope you feel the same way.
So when I was young, I didn't really know what I was going to do when I got older. People kept asking me, but then eventually I thought that the idea of inventing things would be really cool. And the reason I thought that was because I read a quote from Arthur C. Clarke, which said that a sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic. And that's really true. If you go back, say, 300 years, the things that we take for granted today would be, you'd be burned at the stake for. You know, being able to fly, that's crazy. Being able to see over long distances, being able to communicate, having effectively with the internet a group mind of sorts, and having access to all the world's information instantly from almost anywhere on the earth. This is stuff that really would be magic, or would be considered magic in times past. In fact, I think it actually goes beyond that, because there are many things that we take for granted today that weren't even imagined in times past. They weren't even in the realm of magic. So it actually goes beyond that. So I thought, well, if I can do some of those things, basically if I can advance technology, then that's like magic, and that would be really cool. I also had sort of a slight existential crisis, because I was trying to figure out what does it all mean? Like, what's the purpose of things?
Really liking what you do, whatever area that you get into, given that, even if you're the best, there's always a chance of failure. So I think it's important that you really like whatever you're doing. If you don't like it, life is too short. If you like what you're doing, you think about it even when you're not working. It's something that your mind is drawn to, and if you don't like it, you just really can't make it work, I think.
Now is the time to take risk. You don't have kids. As you get older, your obligations increase. And once you have a family, you start taking risk not just for yourself, but for your family as well. It gets much harder to do things that might not work out. So now is the time to do that before you have those obligations. So I would encourage you to take risks now. Do something bold. You won't regret it. Focus on signal over noise. A lot of companies get confused. They spend money on things that don't actually make the product better. For example, at Tesla, we've never spent any money on advertising. We put all of the money into R&D and manufacturing and design to try to make the car as good as possible. And I think that's the way to go. For any given company, just keep thinking about, are these efforts that people are spending, are they resulting in a better product or service? And if they're not, stop those efforts.
Thank you all so much for watching this video. If you haven't already, please go ahead and like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and let us know what you thought down in the comment section below.